Okay, looking at the directions for 13 to 18 on these, it says state what additional information is required. So in other words, they're telling me that there is not currently enough information here to say these are congruent. So state what additional information is required in order to know that the triangles are congruent for the reason given. So it specifically has to be by the reason that they tell me. Then write a triangle congruence statement for the two triangles. So the first thing I need to do on these is to look and see what I've already been told. So I've already been told that angle HIE is congruent to angle HIJ. So that's one pair of congruent angles that I have. I also have a shared side in HI, so that's congruent to itself. So far I have a shared side and a pair of congruent angles. So that means I've got an S and I've got an A. For ASA, I need two A's. So specifically, I need to make sure I get the A that will let the side be in the middle and be the included side. So I have to look and say what's going to make this side be the included side. Remember that the included side always, if you trace it, you're going between the two angles. So that means that my other angle in both cases has to be this angle over here. Because that way, that is my included side. So really the only information I need is that angle EHI is congruent to angle JHI. You could have called EHI IHE. You could have called JHI IHJ. You could say on this one, you could take it a little bit further and point out that since they're a linear pair, they have to add up to 180. So really both of those angles are going to be 90. But you don't have to go through all that, because all you have to point out is that you have another congruence, and this is what I need to know. I need to know that those are congruent. You cannot use angle H on this one. You cannot say angle H on this one. Okay, so looking at number 14, it tells me to use side, side, side. So first I'm going to evaluate what's already there. I've got a pair of sides GH and QR. And I've got a pair of sides HI and SR. So for side, 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 I need another pair of sides. So I need to point out that GI and QS are the same. Now I'd like to get the order right when I do that. So if I say GI, I'm starting on the side where the 1 mark and the 2 mark meet. So I'm going to go up here and start with QS and say GI is congruent to QS. If I started with IJ, I would say IG, I would say SQ. Now I didn't actually go back, I didn't actually finish the entire problem for either one of these, so let's go back and do it for this. It says then write a triangle congruent statement for the two triangles. So I'm going to start with the one on the left. Okay, and we said we were going to start with the one on the left, and we were going to be we're going to be alphabetical order. So HIJ is what I'm going to call that one. And in the other triangle, H goes with H, I goes with I, J goes with E. So that's my triangle congruent statement for number 13. For number 14, if I look at the leftmost triangle and I do it in alphabetical order, that would be GHI. So triangle GHI is congruent to G goes with Q, H goes with R, so Q, R, S. And it's not always that the second one's going to be in alphabetical order, but sometimes it is, and it looks pretty.